y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to a review of Give Me Glow Cosmetics. I have been trying a couple of their products that I got during their Black Friday sale. Finally getting around to it, and I figured it'd be a good time to sit down and just kind of give you an overall brand review of all the products that I've tried from them. I don't have a ton, but I have a highlighter, 2 single shadows, and then their Juicy Olive palette, which I have reviewed on the channel before, but I figured I would kind of rehash it, revisit it, and let you guys know my reviews, and then also give you reviews for the other 2 products, or 3 products that I've tried from them this past month, and that way there's just one video I can direct you to if you are at all curious of my thoughts for the Give Me Glow Cosmetics brand as a whole. If you've been following Give Me Glow's Instagram page, you know they're about to drop another like summer palette, and it's all around like, there's red chilies on the packaging. I forget the name exactly, but something about hot chilies and chili peppers in red. So I'm so excited to see what it is. But in the meantime, I figured I would revisit the Juicy Olive palette, which is what I have on my eyes today, and then also give you guys reviews on their other products that I've tried from them. So if you would like to hear what I think about the quality of their products, let's jump right into it. Okay, let's touch on the highlighter first, then we'll do the singles and then the palette last, just in case you already know my thoughts, because as I said, I have reviewed it in the past, and I'll leave that video linked down below. But let's talk about their highlighter. I have the shade White Noise. The one gripe I have is that I feel like it's very difficult to purchase the highlighters online, because I bought 2 other highlighters. The time I bought this, I bought another one. I think it was Champagne and Lilies. I bought that one, and it sounded online and looking at it, sounded like it'd be a good fit for me, but it was too dark. Like, there was a serious cast on my face whenever I looked straight. So I was like, okay, that's not going to work. And then I looked back on their site, and I decided to try another shade. I'm blanking on something Sunflower, I think. Sunflower Sunrise. I'll put it here on the screen, but I bought that one as well because, again, the description and just looking at it online sounded like it would be perfect for me. But when it came in, it was even darker than Champagne and Lily. So I was like, oh well, I'm just going to stick to this. This is White Noise, if I didn't already say. I have it as my highlight today and then also as my inner corner highlight. And it is very beautiful, but it is very white. So for me, right now, I feel like I can definitely get away with it if I apply it very lightly, but I feel like this isn't a highlighter I can get away with in the summer if you have any kind of tan. And even with that being said, like, I go on very, very lightly when I put it on my highlight. If I go in too heavy with this, it will be a white streak on my face, and that's not cute. But I feel like I'm able to get away with it relatively well for, you know, being a medium complexion, a light medium, I guess you would say. It doesn't really look white on my face unless I turn and you catch the light. So with that said, the reflectiveness of these highlighters are insane. It is so beautiful. The formula and the consistency of their highlighters is very different. It almost feels like one of those Juvia's Place shimmers, or just like a metallic shimmery formula. It is so intense. It's very powdery. Oh, maybe it also reminds me of the Ofra highlighters now that I'm touching it. I don't know, this feels a little more creamier than I remember the Ofra's feeling like. But anyway, you can't deny that the reflectiveness of these highlighters is beautiful, and then on the skin it's also very gorgeous. And as I just said, I have it as my inner corner highlight, and there's many days, especially when I was trying on the neon pigments and whatnot, that I would just pop this as my inner corner highlight, because that white intense metallic shiftiness was just gorgeous and kind of completed just about any bright look for me personally and my preferences. So overall, I was very happy with this. It lasts all day. It does not fade away, which I was very impressed with. When I wash my face at the end of the night, it still is popping and very evident for me personally, and like what I look for in my highlighter. I can still see it very vibrant on my face during the day, and I've tried it with a lot of different bases, from foundations to powders to tinted moisturizers, all that kind of stuff. So overall, I love their formula. I just wish picking the shades was a little bit easier. I don't know why I found it so difficult, but I had to buy 3 to finally settle on this one. And like I said, even this one isn't really going to work for me in the summer, and I would have liked to have had one that matches my skin tone so I could wear it in the summer. So anyway, overall, and then also the packaging is okay. Like, it's nothing, you know, heavy weighted or very fancy, I guess it said, but it's practical. It gets the job done, and it works great. I prefer the little like cardboard boxes, which I think they sell a couple in cardboard boxes, so I would have preferred that, but this plastic gets the job done. It's, you know, got a little clasp, so that's nice that it stays shut, and then it's just pretty compact. I'm glad that there's not excess packaging. So overall, yes, these highlighters are gorgeous. I have been hearing Lacey from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips rave about them for so long, and when Black Friday came, I was like, okay, I'm going to try them. I want to see what the hype is all about, and they're definitely intense. If you do not like intense, like, this is so intense, when you aren't even catching the sunlight, you can see reflectiveness, you can see the white highlight, and if you don't like that, this isn't the highlight for you. For me personally, I feel like this is going to be the highlight I turn to when I want a very intense highlight on camera. If I'm going out into the real world, as you would say it, I feel like I like something a little more natural where it just looks like my skin, and then when it catches the light or hits the sun just right, then you see the highlight. That's my kind of comfort zone when it comes to highlighters and what I like to wear when I'm not testing a product or about to film. Whenever I wear this out, I felt a little extra going out with such an intense highlight that you could see no matter if you were catching the light or not. There was just this very shimmery, beautiful, you know, I'm not saying it's not, but it's a very intense shimmery formula on your cheekbones. So you definitely have to like intensity no matter what. And as for the formula, it's very pretty, and for the most part, it melts into the skin very nicely. I think it just looks like it stands out more than you would think, or sits on top of your skin more than it really does, because it's just so intense. And for me, this shade is a little light, so maybe that's also doing it. But overall, it's not bad. Yeah, you know, it emphasizes texture, but I feel like every highlighter emphasizes texture. That's just me personally. I feel like anyone really does. If there's texture on the top of your cheekbones, you're going to see it when you put a highlighter on. So overall, yeah, those are kind of all my thoughts when it comes to their highlighters. Really do like them and really can recommend them. And I feel like $17.50 isn't a terrible price, but I bought all of mine when they were on sale, so that would be my recommendation. But I feel like that's always my recommendation because I love getting things on sale. But with that said, $17.50 for an indie brand and getting so much product, I wasn't mad at the retail price. Okay, so let's move on to their singles. I only have two to show you. I bought another one, forget the color, but I ended up putting it aside. I have it on my Poshmark with a bunch of singles to sell. I didn't want to touch it just because it looked more online, here it goes again, but online it looked more orangey, but then in person it looked a lot more just almost a brick red brown. Orangey brown, I don't know. It just wasn't the color I was looking for. I felt like I had a lot of singles like that color, so I just put that aside and just tried these two because these two were definitely unique to my collection, and oh my goodness, they are beautiful. Let's start with this. I don't know if they have specific names for their formulas. Foiled. This is a foiled pressed pigment, and then the matte is ultra matte pigment. This foil, let's talk about that first. I have a video, I know I don't have this on my eyes today, but I have a video unboxing the Try Beauty box. I'll have it linked up here. That video, my eye look, is only using these two shades. That's the only thing I have on my eyes. I didn't bring in any others as far as I think I did the highlighter, you know, was the Give Me Glow. So anyway, this is intense. This is gorgeous. It, once again, has a very similar formula to the highlighters in that it's very soft, it's very creamy feeling, but it glides on the eyes so beautifully. And if I was careful not to apply too much and just kind of work to, you know, blend it and get it to smooth over my skin, I also didn't notice a whole lot of transfer into my crease when I used a glitter glue, so that was nice, but like, look at that. It's just very effortless. There's not a whole lot of just chunkiness to it that falls on your face throughout the day. It's just a very foiled, very smooth formula that I love, and I would not mind getting a bunch more of their formula. I really do like their formula. It's stunning. Moving on to the Ultra Matte. This is the green. Oh, did I even tell you? The yellow is Going Bananas, and then this matte green is Limeade that we're going in. This is a beautiful matte. Like, look at that. It's stunning. But something I noticed when I'm using it on my eyes is that it tends to get very patchy and patchy whenever I would apply it to a tacky base. And when I applied it to a set base, it was a little bit better, but then it just took a little longer to get the color I wanted. But I have a Instagram IGTV tutorial, and I'll have that linked down below. I don't think I can link it up in the eye, but you can see when I start going in, and I use this as the one and only matte shade in that look, and I started blending it into my crease, and then I started packing it on the outer corner, and you can see in the video that it's starting to get very patchy and very skippy in the color. Like, there's intense pigment here, and then it's a little patchy here, and especially when I was packing it on my outer corner, it was kind of giving me different depths of color. So overall, this shade, while I absolutely love the color, and overall I feel like when I finished my look, it looked fine. Like, I didn't really notice any intense skipping. It's just something that as I'm doing my eye look, I definitely noticed that it's not going on smoothly. It's not going on super pigmented. It definitely wanted to be a little patchy, but with a, you know, a good bit of blending, I felt like I got everything evened out. So that's just a little quirk of it that I definitely noticed. So for me personally, I don't know, like, I feel like it's nicely pigmented. Would I buy any more of their mattes? I think so. If there was a unique color to my collection, I think I would buy a matte from them, because while it's a little annoying that it's going on patchy and all that, I really do like how intense it is. I really do like the uniqueness of this color that it brings to my collection. So I feel like I'd probably pick it up. And this could just be because of the color as well, because I feel like they have, I don't really know this for sure, but I was assuming that the singles were the same formula as what's in their palettes, but I didn't really have the same experience as I did with this matte green as I did with the greens in here, except for the deepest green, which we're going to get into in a minute. But overall, I just wanted to point that out if you were looking at this shade. And as you saw in the Tribe on Beauty Box, if you watch that, or if you go watch the tutorial on IGTV, I feel like the final look does not look patchy at all. It does not look weird and funky. So I was very happy that it eventually, like with some work and whatnot, it is very smooth, very pigmented, very blinding, and looks exactly like it does in the pan, which is always what I like to see when it comes to a matte shadow. So it's just a little bit of a quirk to it that I definitely want to make sure I pointed out. But overall, I was very happy with these two shades. Totally enjoys the looks that I got with these shadows, and they're definitely, you know, adding something unique to my collection. Okay, moving on to the Juicy Olive. Again, as I said, I've already done a review that's already been linked down below, and I've done eye swatches of this, which I will have linked up here. So like I said, I'm not going to be spending too long on this, but I really do like this palette. The Juicy Olive palette, I feel like is a pretty good price, and also considering you get so much product. So anyway, talking about the quality of the shadows, I really like them. Once again, their shimmers, same story with the single shimmer, very beautiful, very intense, very buttery smooth, have absolutely no problems. And especially when I use this garnish shade here on the lid or in a look, it is so, I'm gonna do it, I should have taken these off first. I got this. Let's just push this down. It's just so intense and beautiful, and these shimmers just take absolutely no work to build up. And then talking about the mattes, I was very pleased with them when I was using them to work into my crease, to work into my outer corner, to accent the shimmers on the lid. I noticed when I was thinking about doing this video, when I used this past summer, I never did an all matte look, because I remember wishing I had, because I wish I could have used this dry martini all over my lid for a really cool cut crease. So today when I sat down to do, to do my makeup today, I was like, let me do that. I'm going to do an all matte look and put this on my lid, and I just felt like it would be very pretty. So I did that. And something I noticed is that when I was applying this on top of the concealer, and it was doing that thing where the center looked just as bright as this, but the edge where I had like my concealer stopped, for some reason, it was just a touch darker than the lid shade. And I get a little annoyed when mattes do that, when you're wanting to do an all matte look. So I was kind of bummed at that. But like I said, if you're just using this to accent, put mattes in the crease and mattes in the outer corner, I didn't have any problems blending or any issues with patchiness like with that green at all. So that was nice. And since I've been swatching everything else, I'll just go ahead and swatch this real quick. Hopefully my fingers are kind of clean. There's a little shimmer in these mattes, it's from the previous shades I swatched. But yeah, that was the one kind of con, honestly, with this palette, is that I wouldn't recommend this palette, or I would never look to this palette again to get an all matte grungy green look, just because of that issue that I had with applying it. And that's one of the reasons I typically like to do an all matte look when it comes to a palette. If you're someone who doesn't like all matte looks, then this is null and void. It doesn't matter to you. But anyway, those are all the colors I swatched. Gonna take them off before I make a mess. So anyway, now that I know that, I didn't know that the last time I reviewed this, so now that I know that, I definitely wanted to share that in today's video, just so you guys know, if you're someone who likes to work and just have all matte looks, maybe you don't really like shimmers all the time, you might have a few issues if you're wanting to create really clean, crisp looks. Now if you're someone who just wants an all matte grungy look, kind of a messy look kind of thing, then maybe this will work just fine. Like I said, I did a cut crease, so I wanted that line to be really defined, and I couldn't get it with this. So overall, even knowing that these green grungy mattes in this palette don't really play nicely when doing an all matte look, I still really do like the palette, and for the days when I want all grungy with these shimmers, this is the palette to go to. I had so much fun with this palette, and I really wish I had recorded more of my looks with it, but just looking at it now and talking about it again, and just doing my makeup with the all mattes today, I kind of wanted to bring it out again and do something with the shimmers, because the shimmers are so beautiful. This is just like, do you see that shiftiness? They're just so beautiful and intense and gorgeous. So overall, yeah, I really do like Gimme Glow's formula. I cannot wait to see what they come out with this summer. I'm going to be all over that if I can. And yeah, overall, I really do like this palette. Sure, it has its little nuances. Sure, it has its pros and cons, but what palette doesn't? And I mean, this should go without saying, but this color story speaks to my heart, so that's why the cons don't bother me. But I did want to kind of mention those to you guys. I don't think I spoke to the wear time of either their singles or the palette, but great wear time. I do my makeup in the morning, and every time I would wash it off at night, it still looked perfection. I never had a problem with the longevity of their shadows. They hold up beautifully all day. So there you have it. Those are my reviews of the Give Me Glow Cosmetics products that I have tried. I look forward to trying more, as I already said, from Give Me Glow this next year. They're definitely, I'm all eyes. If you liked this video or found it informative, I would also appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button on the way out. It really helps me out in the whole YouTube algorithm and trying to get back on my feet after the hiatus I took from YouTube. Oh, it's hurting. But anyway, it would just help me on your way out if you did enjoy this video and found it informative. But yeah, with all that said, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.